All right, we should be live now, man. Melvin Dale in the house. Hang time, man. Boy, man, it's coming up on what you because you graduated in 2021, so almost man 20 years, man, to me knowing you,
Yes, sir.
man,
Yes,
20
sir.
years, man. So the what I kind of want to do with this episode, man, is like I've been just kind of throwing stuff at the wall just to see, if it'll stick, and really when I first started doing this, it was me kind of reaching out to a whole bunch of the old coaches because we were sitting around quarantining. But I was like, man, we just got so much rich history, man, when it comes to basketball, and not just from the coaches that, that watched us grow up and that we played against, but man, a lot of my teammates, man, it's like you got to think back when we played in the league, in the PHL, in the city. Every team pretty much had a superstar, and when I say superstar, I mean like almost everybody had like a college player on their team, and not just like no, you trying to find schools. Now I'm talking about like a legit college player that when you saw
Yeah.
these guys coming, you was like, man, how this dude ain't playing here, or why this dude ain't playing there. And I just remember when I
Right.
was in the eighth grade, man, seeing the Sumners and the Riverviews and the Altons and all these different teams, like you just do your homework, you like, man, they got some studs, but man, like I said, a lot of my teammates, and I didn't really notice it then, and it wasn't really until we was like in the thick of things to where it was just like, okay, all right, I got some studs on my team, but I got Melvin Dale here. Melvin Dale is a Beaumont legend, man. One of my man favorite teammates, man, to play with. I like to call him, man. He like my Batman and Robin. We had a special type of chemistry playing back in the day, and I used to just come down and can just throw the ball anywhere around the square of the basket, close to the hoop, and man, this dude would just show out. So man, I appreciate you, man, taking the time out, man, to kind of chop it up with me, man, and just kind of tell the folks, man, what was your background like growing up, and when did you first started falling in love with basketball?
First of all, pleasure to be here on your platform, BT. Thank you for having me, brother. And to answer your question, man, it was my upcoming. It was like it wasn't even basketball first. It was my first love was actually baseball.
Mm,
I played Matthew Dickies. I played Matthew Dickies for a few years, baseball. I had a real good, strong right arm, but I ain't have no control. So they stuck me out in right field. They wanted me to pitch. They wanted me to pitch because I had some heat beat,
mm-hmm.
but I ain't have control. I ain't have no control. So I was a wrist behind that plate.
Okay.
I mean, on the mound. But so Matthew Dickies was my first, go around with playing sports, just getting involved actively in the community, playing on an organized level, playing sports was
Mm-hmm.
baseball. I didn't get my hands into a basketball until I moved to Las Vegas. Like about I say like mm, 93. My family we just shifted to Las Vegas, and I met a NBA player. Played for the Chicago Bulls. He was running a Boys and Girls Club. His name was Clinton Dale. He was a sharpshooter in the 80s and the early 90s for the Chicago
Mm-hmm.
Bulls. This was like right before Jordan. This was like right before Jordan came. He was a sharpshooter. But he ran a Boys and Girls Club, and that's when I just kept coming in, because it was all sports. It wasn't just basketball, one sport. You know how Boys and Girls Clubs are ran. So I was in there just every day, working on my craft, and that's when I just found out like I had an athletic
Mm-hmm.
ability to do whatever sport I was playing at the time. It was just I had a athletic ability to do something amazing. So that's when I realized I had that gift. And just being in Vegas is hot every day. It's summertime all year
Mm-hmm.
round. So it ain't nothing but just sports to surround yourself around. So that's when I got introduced into the game of basketball and took it
Man,
seriously.
cause I
I moved
yeah, go
back.
ahead, cause my fault, cause I didn't even know that you even that you had that type of upbringing. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I moved back to St. Louis about 95. Went to Northwest Middle. I started summer school 6th grade, and then I went 7th, 8th grade going to Northwest
Mm-hmm.
Middle. And so that's when the competitiveness started coming out because when I got there, um, there was a lot of good players that was good, but a lot of the attention started coming towards me as far as like he was that guy as far as picking up a
Mm-hmm.
basketball. And not only that, it was a high school coach that coached RTC, Robert
Mm-hmm.
Love. Uh, he was a teacher at my school, but he was the head coach at
Right.
RTC. And so he realized that I had talent. He started bringing me into the gym when he was practicing with his high school at Northwest because they practices would be at our
Okay.
school for his varsity. And I was practicing with his varsity in the 7th and 8th grade, hold my own.
Mm-hmm.
So I was all likely going to end up going there. And that's when, like, when I started just getting serious and every day, like, that's all I wanted to do was
Right.
play ball.
Man, nah, that's dope. Cause I didn't even know that. I just remember, man, my first little couple years, and man, I always used to have, man, just man, I used to torch ROTC. And I mean, it was just like every time I played them, man, I probably had like one of the best games of my career at that time. And I
Yeah.
used to always just say what's up to Mr. Love, and I didn't even know that he, had that he was even either teaching at Northwest, but I just remember one day, man, I don't know for some reason I don't know if I went to school or something. I think I ain't gonna say skip school, but either something I didn't go to school, but then the truancy officers picked me up one day, and I was like, man, they picked me up, and they was like, oh no, you got to get in the car. Man, they drove me over to Northwest, man, and I straight up had detention for the first time. And I'm like, this in high school. And I was like, hold on, man, what is this?
Yeah.
But it was like my first encounter with, and I'm pretty sure you probably can just kind of have a little testament to this as far as like Beaumont had his element with the metal detectors, with, gang stuff, all that type of stuff that was going on. Man, I did not know it was a straight up holding cell for detention kids at Northwest, man. Man, what was Northwest like?
Oh, it was a jungle, man. It was it was a jungle, bro. But I adapted. It was like, it was second nature for me just being around in them hallways. And then a lot of the kids that came from Northwest, they transferred to Beaumont.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like a lot of our teammates, you and our
Mm-hmm.
teammates came from Northwest. James Caldwell, Christopher
Mm-hmm.
Jones, Christopher Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, God forgive me, I'm forgetting a few others. But just that system, even like from the B team, a lot of us transitioned from Northwest to Beaumont, and like we was comfortable because we already had a
Mm-hmm.
familiar with each other playing basketball back in middle
Right.
school. So it was second nature for a lot of us just transitioning to Beaumont. But I'll tell you one thing, like Beaumont was like my last option. I was not trying to go there. I was gonna go to RTC. That was like it was like from the 7th, 8th grade. I was like, all right, cool. Then the realization of me knowing that I had to cut my hair off and then uniform, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, when it was almost the time to go, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know,
No, that's real because
I don't know.
it's funny because just the whole element of ROTC, and or back then ROTC had a lot of kids that were going there. A lot of families were putting a lot of emphasis on just that military lifestyle. Going through there, and then I think even every school either had some type of ROTC program that was incorporated in the school. So even if you didn't choose to go to the high school, you still had a class, a ROTC class that was there that you could actually like
Yeah,
take it for like an elective
yeah,
or whatever the case may be. But no, I used to always remember because Sean left, a lot of the guys, and even from like, because I'm a year older than you, but a lot of the guys that was on the team prior, because I think Beaumont had closed down, and I think for like a year Beaumont was at McKinley High School on the south side. And then
sure.
when it opened back up, they had renovated it, did a whole lot of little different work to it, and a lot of folks had transitioned back over to Beaumont. And so I remember even like from my freshman year, from the Ozales to the lefties, to a lot of folks came from the other side of the park, and man, it was just, man, so much competitiveness in Beaumont because you got to think y'all was on the borderline of Northwest, and at the time Northwest was a middle school, so Northwest went to high school, but on top of that, you still had kids coming from Riverview, because you had a choice to make if you wanted to go to Riverview or if you wanted to go to Beaumont. Like the boundaries were so big back then, you know.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
Yeah, exactly.
so talk about your first experience coming in, because you came in. I think, did you started playing B team right away? What was that like?
Yeah,
Because I kind of remembered you there, but I kind of, I was in my own little world right at the beginning.
in the beginning, right in the beginning, coming in. Well, first of all, Bird, he came to Northwest like my eighth grade year to introduce himself and just the system at Beaumont, what he had going on, and talk to me individually and a couple other players collectively. But I kind of knew what to expect to having that conversation with Bird when he came to Northwest, just chatting with him, kind of like picking his brain apart, like to see what he was
Mm-hmm.
on. So I kind of knew what to expect coming in the hallways of Beaumont my freshman year. But even though you can expect it, it's still different once you get on that floor for the first time and you trying to show your talent to people that you don't really
Mm-hmm.
know, and they don't really know you. So that's what it was for me. Like the first time coming in, I just wanted to like just let my presence be felt and like let them know like I was serious. The coaching, my teammates,
Mm-hmm.
y'all, like that was all I was about. Just wanted to let y'all know that I took it serious and I wasn't just like
Mm-hmm.
other people that were just coming in for a minute and then you won't see them no more after a week or two. Like I just wanted that to be known first and foremost. Like I was serious
So,
about it.
like, did you do anything with us in the summertime, or like leading up until when the school started? So it's like, soon as you got there, what was it like? I'm kind of, like I said, everything is kind of like, man, it's been like
Okay,
20 some odd years, but
because exactly. But when I first got there, I was just getting in trouble. And then I remember getting sent to Bird office, and then he told me if I could, he remember having a conversation with me prior in Northwest, but he told me if I had any inspiration on playing any type of basketball, then seeing him in his office wasn't gonna happen because I was in his office like every other day and for skipping school or just for something crazy. So my freshman year, so he had that man to man talk with me, and then after that, I kind of like simmered down and let him know personally like I was serious about like hooping because like at first, like I said, I was in his office quite a bit, so he wasn't taking me serious.
man, so talk about that. You come up to Beaumont. I'm pretty sure you had a whole bunch of kids that you went to middle school with. So you getting in trouble. You
Yeah.
starting to, you getting into that mischievousness in the ninth grade, and you start to, see what was going on. So and Bird got a big stature. And you remember he had that little small little room on the second floor, and used to be jam packed in
Hey,
there. Boy, he had folks on
yeah,
you could grab you a little seat right in the front, and then on that other side he had
man.
like a holding cell over there on that other side, boy.
If you was on that other side, you was in bad. You was in bad business
Cause you
over
weren't
there.
going back to class
Yeah,
that hour, boy. You go on, sit on over there.
yeah, stuck. Yeah, you stuck on me. But yeah, man, just that freshman year, it taught me a lot because I thought that I was gonna come in there and everything was just gonna fall into place the way I wanted it, and then you get that rude awakening, like, nah, this a whole nother
Mm-hmm.
level. Varsity was a whole nother level. Um, just the body structure of y'all being on varsity compared to us being on B team, it was just on a whole nother level. Uh, so like only thing I wanted to do, honest to God, was just get approval from you
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, because like you was that guy, and like when you talk basketball about Beaumont, Brian Turner name was coming up first before
Mm-hmm.
anything else, and like that was a known fact. So I just wanted you to know and see that like I was about that life. Like I had a long way to go, but you can see the potential
Mm-hmm.
there, and like I think a lot of people saw that with me early. Like I had a lot of potential, but I had a lot of growing to do,
Man, so
mentally,
yeah,
physically.
but I'm gonna say one thing that I feel like, man, that was and shout out to Coach Vic, man. Vic kind, man, he held y'all down as far as knowing the talent that we had. And I just remember, man, my sophomore year, we were like 10 and 15. We kind of had like It was kind of like a mix of like the bongo squad because a couple of the kids that was supposed to be on the team leading us they senior year had quit. Like Ozell was on the team,
Yeah.
he quit mid season of his junior year. I don't. I
Yeah.
think at that time, Darnay and Lamont, all of them had went and played football, got
Football.
banged up, and
Yeah.
kind of patching things back up when they came back on the team. Go ahead.
Yeah. Listen, everybody came in the gym. Everybody came in the gym with a sling, a brace, a neck brace, and Bird was looking like these are three of my starters on the basketball team coming straight off the football field, banged up in the season right around the corner, and y'all sitting out icing yourself. So from that moment, he put a stamp down, and that kind of like, man, it threw a bum on me because I really wanted to play football. I was very athletic, but once he said either you play football or either you play basketball, you ain't gonna play both, or you ain't gonna start. Like I don't care how good you are, you're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna start coming from the football field, coming into the basketball gym. So that kind of like threw me the wrong way as far as like trying to play both sports, and I was already acclimated with basketball and the system that was going on. So I stayed in the gym, but I really wanted to go outside and play football and show my talents out there. I probably been just retiring in the
Man,
NFL, bro, because I was so athletic. I was so athletic, and
yeah, no, no,
man,
no,
I was
and
so
that's
athletic.
that like you laughing and joking, but man, I know, so going like I said, so going into your sophomore, it was like your freshman year going into your sophomore year. What was the expectation
Yeah,
like? Because I just remember, us finishing up.
I,
Oh,
I
okay, go
gotta
ahead,
go
go
back.
ahead.
I gotta go back to that freshman year, like because like you said, Vic, he kept me so humble and so like just patient because like my freshman year, like I felt like I should have been playing like more varsity. Even though like I got pulled up, I felt like I should have been playing. And like I got frustrated because I saw what was going on out there, and I was like, I felt like I could be contributing out there even
Who
as a
was
freshman. And
who
Vic
was
just
who
kept
was
me.
all on y'all
Go
that
ahead.
freshman that B team y'all freshman year? Call out some of the names on the squad. Chris
Chris
Scott,
Jones. I mean, Chris Scott, Bull. Um, you had Steve Brown. You had Troy. You had Fly Guy.
man. Now yeah, you naming some characters right there, boy, just right off the bat. So so
Yeah,
so so midway,
that's
Vic
right.
had that talk with you, and what was Vic talking about? What was he saying to you?
Yeah, he just kept me humble, man. Like throughout the process, that whole B team year, because we were struggling on the court, we wasn't having much success out on the court. That was frustrating. And then so I felt like I should have been up playing varsity because like we wasting a year on B team, not losing every game. So just being a knucklehead and feeling like you should be doing something more, like he just kept that patience inside of me and let me know like my time was coming
Mm-hmm.
in due time. He knew something inside of me was gonna come out, and I just needed to be patient. So Vic, he kept me humble that freshman year because it was a frustrating year that freshman year on the court. It really was because I expected the team to be doing better. I expected me to be doing better, and it wasn't that easy. So like it was frustrating. But like being able to watch out deliver on a varsity level, that kept me motivated because it was just like B team and varsity. We all know
Mm-hmm.
it's night and day. And watch y'all coming out there in them jumpsuits, it was just like that was my motivation. Like I
Mm-hmm.
gotta get there. I
Yeah,
gotta get
nah. So no, I'm just tripping off the fact of like we was just talking about with Vic, and what I kind of want to do with this episode, man, is like I'm big on relationships, and I tell a lot of my kids, man,
there. Yeah,
life is about relationships, and it should be about building bridges as opposed to turn bridges down. And when I look at folks like
yeah,
just that nucleus and that family that we had at Beaumont, it was just all about like I said, just relationship. It was relationship building because at any time at any given moment, some guy may not be here, some person might not be on the team. Something tragic may happen, like all those different things. So we was just going through life, man, cherishing those moments of the relationships of the guys on our team. So what was it like on your team? Like what was the relationships like with the guys on that B team? growing up and being in class and just being on the team and just that atmosphere? What was that like?
It was family, man. Like we was all together every day on a bus stop, uh, from practice because like you gotta understand, we didn't get to practice at Beaumont. Like we had to all huddle up and walk together. The team to
Herbert Hoover.
what was that?
Mm-hmm.
Herbert Hoop. Yeah, around the corner at Herbert Hoover, and that was every day. That was how our practice was. We had to go there, and when we leave practice, it was nighttime, so we was all grouped up on the bus stops, catching that lead bus,
Mm.
heading back. So we all had a bond from that. That was like we couldn't deny it because like we was around each other every day, and we couldn't change that. Like, and so we just grew a brotherhood, and it's still to
Man,
this
and it's
day.
it's funny that you say that. Like, man, think about it, man. Beaumont was a straight up neighborhood school, like a straight up neighborhood school. The fact that you just got through saying it, walking to Herbert Hoover, walking back, and back then it wasn't no yellow bus. We used to get bus tickets, and you get a
Yeah,
pack
yeah,
of bus
bus
tickets.
tickets was like it was
Man, you
like
get your
money,
pack of
baby.
bus tickets. Man, you going all over St.
Yeah,
Louis, man. But then when you just said that lead
on
bus,
me.
I remember we used to get the pamphlets and used to have to remember like what route going where. Man, kids nowadays don't know nothing about
Yeah,
that. Like, don't even know. Man, if I drop my son, or I ain't gonna even say my son off. If I drop half of the kids off and say, man, how you getting there, where you stay at, how to get there, man, they lost.
man. It was a bus route. We was there, and we had no problem hopping on no bus from the Lee to the Kings Highway to the Natural Bridge. Cause like going up, like for me, I came from Walnut Park, and like sometimes I have to catch like three buses, or sometimes I have to take that risk walking through that park. And sometimes walking through that park, you would get tested. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you want, if you ain't gonna stand 10 toes down, you're gonna get tested or you're gonna get questioned.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I was like, I'll just catch three buses if I ain't. And then it'd be cold walking through that park because like getting off that lead bus, that's a nice little walk through front ground getting to Beaumont. So sometimes I would hop on a West Florissant, um, to the Kings Highway, to the Natural Bridge. So sometimes I'll be catching three buses just to get back and forth to school.
Man, but
For
again, but like
real.
you said, you had money in your pocket in the form of them bus tickets, and
Once
that
you
and
had
that
them tickets,
transfer. Oh my goodness! As soon as you hop on there, let me get that transfer. I'm about to make this a long day right here.
I had to get back up. Oh, man, I forgot to get my transfer. I need that transfer bus driver for real because it was like that though back then. It was back. It was
So
real.
so talk about that mentality. How did you convert that mentality from just going by what you just got through saying, man? Getting on multiple buses, wanting to be at practice, wanting to be in the gym, and knowing like, look, I can either stand on getting jumped, shot at, or I can just be up here with my guys, and when I leave here, I know we all gonna mob together to wherever we gotta go. But it's a risk that I'm taking to play on this basketball team. What was your mentality like? Though from your freshman year
It
to
was
your
like,
sophomore year, what was it like at Beaumont?
well, it was like each year changed because like freshman year you're just trying to get your feet wet and get acclimated to your surroundings and what's going on. And then once that took place, my sophomore year came. I was starting on varsity, so it was just a whole nother level for me. Like I was ready. I embraced it. Like I was excited. Like it was just my sophomore year. It was just filled with excitement because I was like playing with you guys who I looked up to you, Lance Young. Even though he was a football star, he was still a big piece on the basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lamont, Garnett, um, Goodlow, like y'all was my leaders. So like I was marching to y'all beat. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to do, just make sure I was there and didn't let y'all down, flat out. That sophomore year,
Mm-hmm.
in which I did because I ended up breaking I broke a bone in my ankle playing against Sumner. Jeremiah, I remember like it was yesterday. He went to the hole for a layup, and then his body kind of like went out of control because his legs went out of him, and his back landed on my ankle. And man, it was like my sophomore year went downhill from there. Like I had a chip bone in my ankle. I missed a lot of games like I tried to come back for district, like I wasn't no factor though. I couldn't help y'all at all. And then like after I came out of that cast, it was like it was just something like my hops was on another level, my game was on another level. Like I know you can remember from my sophomore year, I really wasn't dunking. You can see the athletic ability. You can see like, man, that dude can jump out the gym.
Mm-hmm.
As a sophomore, I wasn't putting no highlight reels together as
Mm-hmm.
far as dunking, and like I would have some athletic shot blocks or some rebounds that you'd be like, Jesus, or whatever, but nothing that really like stamped it.
Right.
That junior year, that sophomore year, that summer, we worked out and we went to what was that? What was them tournaments we played in? The Belleville
Man, we
East
used to go over to
tournament.
the Blue Storm tournaments. Man, we used to
Yeah,
but we used to stay
well, even
stay
well,
hooping though. Like coach had a man, his philosophy
I
was
know
that he was from that old school, and even like the conversations that I had with like, Coach Lennon and a couple guys from back in the day, like you took your squad everywhere to go hoop. Like it wasn't just like, you showing up or this person playing on these different AAU teams. You taking your squad everywhere to hoop. So we already knew me, Goodlow, Scott, you, Bull, all these our unit. No matter what, we playing together. No matter where we go, we in the game pickup gym. And you got to think back when Beaumont used to have when coach used to open that gym up. Man, used to be cats from
yeah,
Roosevelt coming up there, man, from Summer, from all over, just to get a
right.
run in. And he
Yeah.
always used to be like, "Nah, that five got to stay together, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You come in here and play,
Yep,
no, that five got to play. So you get whoever you
yep,
gonna get. But go ahead.
yeah. You right on point. But so that sophomore year, like I said, it like I broke my ankle my sophomore year, so um the season wasn't what I wanted to be. We got beat in what first round of districts. I was sitting on a bench watching, really couldn't help the team. But like I
That's I
said,
think did we
going
did we
into that,
lose to
I'm like,
Normandy that year with Corey Sims?
no, I don't even think we lost to Normandy. Who did we lose to? It might have been Gateway.
Hold on, my sophomore year, your freshman year,
Yo, yo, no, no, your sophomore year, my freshman
we
year,
lost to Gateway
correct. Uh, we lost to Gateway. Am I
and
right?
Vashawn.
Yeah, yeah. You had a dunk that
And
game.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
and
that.
the last game it
You
did a
had a dunk.
chin up on the rim.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, yeah, you did. That Gateway. Yeah, it
No,
was so
no, no.
dark
It
in that
wasn't that
gym.
Gateway, it was at Vashawn.
It was at they shine. You're right. That's why it was so
Yeah.
dark. I was like, I just remember it being so dark.
We was
Because it was
playing
at the peak.
Gateway.
Yeah, we playing Gateway though. But yeah, that was our first. That was your sophomore year, my freshman
And the,
year.
hold on,
And,
not to even cut you off, but that game, man, I just remember, dude, man, straight busting in tears. In my sophomore year, after that game was over with,
I remember that too.
man,
I
I'm
remember
talking
that
about
too.
because that whole year was just like a blur. Like going back to what we was just talking about as far as all of the mishaps we had at the beginning of the year, and my thing was setting goals, and my one of my goals was, I want to make a run for the state. I want to be the leading scorer of the school history. I want to put up numbers. I want to do this. And during that whole year, I'm accomplishing pretty much everything. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Man, we lose, and man, I did not want that season to end. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically where them tears was coming from. Was like, man, I did not want this to end because it was just
Yeah,
kind of like I saw the rewards of all that hard work that somebody could put in. But go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Your sophomore year, you was a monster, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the name Killer crossover, your sophomore year. I man, I remember being in the gym, open gym one day, and we were playing against brother
Oh,
Jermaine.
brother Jermaine and
And
Craig
man,
now.
you brother Jermaine, yeah, you crossed brother Jermaine over so bad, made him fall.
Mm, damn.
I'm talking about, listen, BT, like you crossed him up so bad, like his feet was like going in the back of his head because he fell, bro. Like his feet was in the back of his
Man,
head. It
nah.
was so bad, bro. Like the whole sideline was just dying laughing. But yeah, even like brother Jermaine and Craig, like they was a big piece of our run that sophomore, well, your sophomore year, my
Mm-hmm.
freshman year. Like they was a big piece of, like a lot of people don't realize.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that sophomore year, going into that sophomore year, um, like I said, I had broke my ankle, and then once that season had ended, that summer, once we started, like you said, we were just going everywhere hooping together. That's when I knew, like that next season, I already knew before the season started it was a wrap. It was a wrap for the PHL. It was a wrap because they didn't know they didn't know what
Mm-hmm.
was going to hit them. With me individually, as us as a team, because we got bonded and we started knowing how to play with each other more better and more so often. Like I knew your senior year, my junior year was going to be explosive. Just from the summer leagues, like what we was doing in the summer league, that Wellston league. Do you remember when we playing in that
Mm-hmm.
Wellston league? Man, like we putting on some
So
shows in
hold
that
on, that
Wellston
that was
league.
a league that we was
So
in at Wellston. I just remember, I thought it was a game we played. That was a
yes,
league.
no, we played in the actual league in that Wellston league. We played in the
Okay,
lead out there.
okay,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Oh man,
Yes, out there 41.
yeah, man. We was putting
So
in work,
yeah.
man. What was it like, man, playing at Riverview, man? Do you remember, man, games at Riverview?
Oh yeah. We did that freshman year. Your sophomore
One of
year,
them
we
years,
played
man, they
out there,
blasted
and
us though.
your sophomore year, my freshman year, they dinked us upside the head. B
What's
team in
what's my dude that passed away,
varsity.
man? Rest in peace, man. Damon Nash. He came out
Yeah,
the stands,
yeah,
man. It was
yeah,
so lit in there. Oh my god, it was packed. This dude leading all of the cheers.
yeah.
I remember being at the free throw line, man. He ran out the stands, right on the front, right around somebody shooting free throws, man. Man, popping, doing the doodoo brown, man, everything. I'm like, man, look at this. Look at this. You remember
I
that?
remember. I remember like yeah, we didn't know what is this dude out here doing, but he had
Right.
everybody in tune though.
But
Everybody was
but
intact.
and you
He
got
was
this is what
on
you got
that.
to remember too, man. Riverview wasn't they was an established high school, had won state, like they games was lit. So coach knew what he was
Yeah,
doing, putting us in that
yeah.
atmosphere, man, because it was just like,
That vibe.
man, when we get
Yeah.
blasted, because I remember going back out there, was it my senior year? And man, I was dunking
Mm-hmm.
all on them.
No, because hold on. Yeah, because like they blasted us your sophomore year at their gym, and then we turned around the next year and went to Showdown and
Mm-hmm.
blast them, and then blast them every year after that. They got us that one year, and then every year after that we was like this.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't
When
no
when
back.
when did you start seeing that the game was just bigger than just playing varsity and just and like the PHL? Like when was it all was you kind of already touched on it just a little bit as far as saying like you already knew coming into it and that was kind of like your motivation to kind of stick it out because you knew exactly what was on the other side of varsity or was on the other side of the B team that you knew as soon as you emerged up on that varsity what life was gonna be like. But just kind of touch on that a little bit. Like when did you start kind of figuring that out? Like man, this finna be it's finna be on. Was it a particular game? Was it a particular time?
No, no, no. Like it was like I alluded to. It was that's my junior year, your senior year. That whole summer, I knew it was we had well, me and you and I had one more year to play together. I knew that year was gonna be a monster year because I already knew what I was bringing for that
Mm-hmm.
year. I already knew what you was bringing,
Mm-hmm.
and like that together, that was something they ain't seen before. They ain't
Mm-hmm.
seen like so. I already knew what it was like, and I the first game of this a year, your senior year, I had like 4 dunks that game. You had a dunk. I think Scott had a dunk. It was just like
Man,
it
see,
was
man,
mayhem.
I don't even remember all of this. Who was we playing against?
So no, it wasn't so then. It was I want to say
I can go back and look up the
no,
stats,
no, no,
but
no,
go
no.
ahead.
It was Sumner. It was Sumner. It was Sumner.
What was
It was
we
at
at?
we was at Val. First
Okay.
game of the year was at Val,
We
and
always had that game up there.
we ran 4 for the first time. That was a out of bounds live play for me, and we ran it
Oh
for the
man.
first time. And we ran that game, and we ran it every game after that.
I remember
So
coach practicing putting that play in, and we used to have man Cat Gooney and all them cats used to come up to the gym. Coach used to be
yeah,
like, "Watch this, watch this, watch this, run four, run four." Man, we run four, man. We throw that mug up there, blue. But
yes,
one thing that I would say, man, and it's crazy, man, because like I tell folks all the time, just like man, when you put your mind to it, man, as a man think, it's like I remember setting goals and writing goals down in my room, man, saying like, I want to be All American. I want to be this. I want to be that. But I was like, I want to play in the Camo X shootout, because I knew that was gonna be the stamp that when they stamp you as a high school player or as a high school team, your team was gonna be playing in that. And when I remember coach getting that call, like, hey man, we playing in the shootout. And man, we go down there, we playing the shootout, man. We play Riverton, Illinois. And I just remember, man, this guy Clinton Cuffle. If Clinton Cuffle listening right now, man, y'all ain't have a chance. They was ranked. They was ranked in Illinois. They was ranked as one of the top teams in Illinois. Man, man, everybody was clowning that game, wasn't they?
Yeah, they was frustrated that afternoon all day.
Man,
Sideline.
Man, what we do, man? Coach took us to some soul food place. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What happened, man?
Oh yeah. We got on that yellow bus and they took us to the little soul food place. We ate good, and after that, it was lights out for them, man.
Man, it was over. We was running everything, man. We sat in that diamond press. We turned around. We stealing, dropping assists, dropping down. Everybody getting dunks.
Yeah, that press broke their heart that day. It did. That diamond press, it did numbers on them that day.
Oh man,
they weren't used to seeing that level of athleticism coming from all of us. Mm-hmm. Like we were just so athletic, just as a team, more so than they were. It was just on another level. They weren't ready for us that day, BT.
Man. And then just throughout the course of that whole year, like I said, man, we had some battles. Obviously the Vashon, I think we played Vashon for the first time. That second, it was a back-to-back. We played at the Savage, and then had to turn right back around and play them that Friday. I remember that. I remember, man, getting smacked by CBC. I remember that. I was like, man,
that whole year I kind of remember, like, the beginning was the Coca-Cola shootout, the Camo shootout, and then, like you just alluded to, we played Vashon back to back, and then after we lost to the B, we won I believe a 10-11 game win streak or something like that. We went on a nice little win streak that year, and then we didn't lose again until we lost to CBC.
Mm-hmm.
And then we even went out there and we played Hazelwood Central. We played Central that year.
They might have got us though.
They got us. I ended up dunking on Bird's son that game. Tank. I dunked on his son that game.
Oh man.
Bird got ejected that game.
I don't even remember that. Straight up.
Yeah. Bird. I promise you, Bird got ejected that game. And then I ended up dunking on his son. He didn't even see it. Because he got ejected.
Here we go, right here. Hold on. Let me see if this right, though. Let me see. Yeah, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So look, this how it happened. We was 4-0 to kick the season off. We played Soldan first at Sumner.
So it was Soldan?
And we beat Soldan, man, 63-28. And that's what you was talking about, man. You must have been clowning and dunking out. Then we turned right back around and smacked Sumner 81-61. And then we beat VAP 57-17. Boy, everybody got it in that game, boy.
What was that? What was that score again? You said 57-17.
57-17, yeah.
But
that's when coach, man, y'all only gonna play a couple minutes, then y'all gonna sit on down.
Yeah, sit on out them games.
Look. You had 11. I had 10. Bull had 8. Goodlow had 6. Jason Boyd had 8. Lavelle, God bless the dead, he had 2. Jeremy Scott had 5, and Big Tim had 4.
That's balanced.
Yeah, but man, let me see how he emptied the bench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people got in. Hold on. I didn't finish the stat line. You had 16 rebounds.
Oh yeah, my junior year, nigga, I was cleaning the glass up like man, I was cleaning the glass up like it wasn't no tomorrow, bro. I ate on the rebounds. I was averaging like 13 a
Hold
game.
on,
My
man.
junior
Let me
year,
pull up your stat line, man. Just so for folks that's listening, man, they think that we just on here talking. They're like, man, BT, man, who you got on here, man? Hey, I got a certified bucket right here that you can throw the ball anywhere. And this cat, man, cause how old are you now, Melvin? You about what, 39, 40? Man,
39.
39, still wrecking shop in the men's leagues around town. I see Nico, boy, I don't know if who got more championships in the men's league. How many rings you
Nope.
got?
Don't nobody got more than Nico the guy, bro. 100. That's
Ah, man.
the guy. He got more rings than a little bit.
Man, shout out to Nico, man. That boy got, man, rings on his toes, boy.
Shout out to Nico.
So yeah, so you got. Let me see what your line was like, man. Let's see what you done heard talking about. Damn, you had 16 rebounds against Central, 16 another 16 rebounds against Sodan, 14 against ROTC, 13 against the Smet,
I averaged 13 my junior year.
14 against Roosevelt, 15. Oh yeah, man, hey, you was getting it
Yeah.
in.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
And then I,
nah, yeah, you was putting in work, man. So all right, we making the transition. So all of a sudden, okay, you see what it's like, man. We have that year, man. My senior year, your junior year, man. What was that run like towards the end of the year, man? When we had
man,
that collapse, man, against Vashon, man. Let's go ahead and set the record straight, man. What happened? What happened that game from your perspective?
before we even get there though, like it was a few other games that got us prepared for that. Like that normally Christmas tournament. Like
Mm-hmm.
that got I think that prepared us for that moment playing in that district championship because that was a hard run we had to get through to win that
And
normally
Normandy was on the
championship.
they was on the rise. They
And normally
yeah.
top team in the area at the
JG,
time. They
Corey,
had
man, Mumu, man, they was on the rise.
Umu, yeah, they had some players on that team. Like they were just as deep as we was, man. To be honest with you, like they was a threat, and we played them 3 times that year,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we beat them twice out of the 3 because they beat us the first time we played them, and then we beat them for the Christmas tournament championship, and then we beat them in district that
Hold on,
junior
hold on. Say that again,
year.
because
Your
we
senior year,
won in their Christmas tournament.
we played normally 3 times your senior year. They beat us the first time we played them. They beat
It was
us.
a
It was a close
non-conference
game, but
game,
they
I
beat
think.
us. Non-conference game, and then we played them again in the championship in the Christmas tournament, and then we
Right.
beat them for the title. And then we played them again in districts before we played the V, and we beat
Mm-hmm.
them in a tight game then before we played the V. So now I can get to the V game. I just have to what led up to that Bayside game. Like we learned some tight ball games leading up to that championship game against the V.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, your senior year, my junior year. But that game, it was just like, man, I just remember being in the zone, man. That was probably my best high school game, just all around. If my stat line, if I'm not mistaken, it was 28 and 14
Mm-hmm.
against FaceTime in that district game. And
So
I was
you,
just like,
yeah,
yeah,
you had what, I think 25 and 14. It say
25,
20 25 and 14. All right.
5-14. Well, yeah, I just like I said, I just remember being in the zone, bro. And just wanting to win more so than anything. Just wanting to win that game. Like I dreamed about it. That like that moment, I had so many dreams about playing in that game, having that type of performance. And then when the winding seconds winded down and the game unfolded the way it unfolded, it was just like, oh man, we just could have made a few extra plays if we just would have held on to that ball.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we didn't need to shoot. We didn't need to shoot. Just looking back on it, we didn't need. We was up by I think 1, and we
Mm-hmm.
took a corner that we didn't need. So just, I mean, just still just being in that atmosphere. That gym was so packed. It wasn't nowhere to stand, nowhere to sit. Um, like the sweat off your body it was just blossoming because it was just so hot in there. It was just, man, it was like one of them games you live for, one of those moments, them atmosphere that you thrive to be in. Like, this is what you play
Man,
basketball
and
for.
they
These
was
type of
smacking
moments.
us at halftime, wasn't they?
Yeah, they was up, and everybody thought it was over. It was just like,
How did we get back
nah,
in the game though?
we just kept pressing, man. We kept pressing. We got some key turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna lie. I made some individual plays that kind of like gave us some momentum, some dunks that gave us some momentum.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd just like, oh my god! I was like, some of the pictures that I look at just from that game, like
Mm-hmm.
you could just see the crowd in the background. Just it was like had people standing on top of people in that gym, and it was just like it was electric.
Mm.
So our fans, just like, man, our fans were
Yeah,
loyal.
no, we
Like,
had a nice
our
little
fans
following. Like no matter what, man, folks used to come out, man, just to see us, man, just because it was like if it was a team that can knock them off, man, it was gonna be us. Like as far as like leading the way,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
they knew that, and they knew that, and we knew it as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the best. That was the best year to match up with them as far as just body for body, skill for skill,
It was a
talent for
time we
talent.
went down there to go hoop, man. I think we was playing 3-on-3.
Yeah, it was 3-on-3. I remember like it was yesterday. It was me, you. No, it was 4-on-4. It was 4. It was me, you, Goodlow, and Scott, and it was Jimmy, Joe, Nick,
Was
and
Arnold?
I want to say man, or I want to man,
No, it
man
was
wasn't there.
Arnold.
It was
It
something they
was
had
Arnold
somebody.
Britt.
It was Arnold. It was on a brick. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And we played 4-on-4. We played a couple games, and then just after we got through hooping, we were just all sitting on the sideline chopping it up. And then like a lot of people don't know, like we like that was our rival. That was our number one
Mm-hmm.
rival. But like even before like going into high school, like man was real close. We went to the same middle school. We went to the same church. Man, we used to have conversations on just like what it was gonna be like playing in high school, because we both thought we was going to
Mm-hmm.
RTC. Coming from Northwest, Love was trying to get both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it was just like wanting to beat them because we was like friends with some of them, like BJ. Me and him was close friends coming up.
Right.
So like it wasn't just like a lot of people just thought it was just a hateful
No,
rivalry.
no, but like you said, man, body for body,
It was love.
that was the best time that we can match up with them. And like you said, we used to go straight hang out with them guys, man, and be around them guys because it was just like, man, we trying to see where our skills match up at. You know what I'm saying? We right down the
Yeah.
street.
Being in that minor league, that's all. Yeah, being in that minor league, that's all I was trying to do. My freshman and the junior year, just trying to match up what they doing and we ain't
Exactly.
doing, and just trying,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to pick brains, like just trying to see what was going on. But yeah, I just feel like, man, we had the best team. Your senior, my junior year, to match up with them. If we was gonna beat them and get the job done, it was gonna be that game that we came just short.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Right. So now we trying to tie in, man. Like I said, just as far as like just relationships and seeing the type of people that we had around. Like, who all do you talk to this day as far as staying in contact with? Because you got to think, man, it's been over 20 years, man. Some of us, man, when lucky enough to wake up this morning, man. Some of us are not in the best predicaments, man. But to say that, man, I've been knowing you for 20 some odd years, and we can have memories like this. And like I said, man, relationships, man, life is about relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get a certain age, if you have no existence of being here to where we can share these same memories, it was just like you wouldn't even hear, man. You know what I'm saying? What do that mean from when you see, 1990 or 1981 to whatever your end date is, man? What was life like in between them numbers? Do that make sense?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Make perfectly good sense. Just to reminisce and think and just reflect. Like how did I get from here to there, and what was that process like
Mm-hmm.
in the mix of it? Like it's a journey. That's what it
So
is. It's
so
a
so
journey.
what was like, man, going, and we can put the short the quick version on it, but like going into your senior year, because y'all team got a chance to play back down in the Camel X shootout. Y'all got a chance to still
Yeah.
was one of the top teams. Even after I left, y'all still one of the premier teams around town. Like, what went on after I left? Was it did I put things down, or have some type of leadership that I left, or legacy that I left that you guys kind of fed off of?
Yeah,
Like, what was that like?
yeah. You, Scott, Goodlow, I think you guys definitely left a void behind as far as leadership. We was definitely lacking in that area of my senior year. We had leadership, but it wasn't to the level that you guys had because we was looking up to you guys. So we didn't want to let y'all down.
Mm-hmm.
So that leadership, it was more so the sophomores and juniors looking up to us, and we were supposed to be leading the team. But I honestly, me individually, I didn't lead the team like I should have led the
Mm-hmm.
team my senior year. But even with that being said, we still got accomplished a lot. Um, we beat some good teams, but it's a bitter taste in my mouth because I know like the job wasn't done, and we could have had definitely left a better mark my senior year, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but even with that being said, like like individually, um, I still had a pretty good senior. Um, like I broke my hand. What was it? Right before the season started, I broke like two bones in my hand, and I wasn't even supposed to play like my senior year until like, if so, I was supposed to come back like the end of my year
Oh man.
is when I was going to be cleared. But me being who I was, I wasn't missing no games. I had a cast that it slid off the press conference for the shootout. Like I was in a sling in a cast, but I didn't miss no games my senior year. And I had two broke bones in both of my hands, but I didn't miss no games because I just refused to. Um, so yeah, it was tough, but
It was on your
um,
shooting hand.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how was you shooting free throws?
It was tough, man. Like I played through pain. It was tough. It was tough. Like I
Man,
had
you got two broke
two
bones and
big,
you still played.
yeah, man. Been doing some knucklehead fighting, man. And like right before the season started, whole basketball team was fighting, and I broke two bones in my hand right before the season started, and I was supposed to miss like pretty much my whole senior
Hmm.
year. But I wasn't going for
Man,
it.
so
I was,
so so how so you say it was some ups and downs throughout the season. Y'all still had a decent year, and then how did it cap
yeah,
off? Because you guys, because like I said, Vashon, Normandy, you still had a tough district. What led and what
yeah,
went on until leading up into that? Because I'm pretty sure, man, y'all already had some battles. Possibly you was gonna be playing either one of those teams twice.
yeah. Exactly. We did. Normally twice, then we played twice. No, we only played Baytown once that year, actually. My senior year. We played Normandy twice. Normandy beat us twice. Baytown beat us. Uh, we were the better team, most definitely against Normandy. It was just like mentally we wasn't there.
Right.
We was all feeling our own stuff. Me, Bull,
Mm-hmm.
uh, other individuals just
Right.
on their own on their own agenda, and we didn't gel. We didn't much like we did your senior year, my junior year, my senior year. It was
Mm-hmm.
been like people was let on a team that really had no business being on the team,
Right.
chemistry wise.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was just like it was what it was. Like it was like we were just on something else my senior year.
So
Um,
what was
we wanted to win, but the focus wasn't there completely like it should have been.
so individually, like as far as like you knowing the same type of energy that and the things that you wanted to get accomplished when you came into Beaumont, did you have that same energy when it was time to leave to continue your career? Like what happened with that, and what opportunities presented itself, and again kind of tied into with relationships, because
Yeah.
again a lot of this stuff is especially being in the basketball community, a lot of stuff is just nothing but a phone call away. So talk about how you made the transition from high school to college.
Oh, definitely. Well, after Beaumont, I was lucky to go to a school where I had another teammate, Chris Jones, went with me. a couple close friends, Diamond Gladly. He ended up going out there from RTC.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the school with me out in Texas. So it was so crazy because like at the time like the St. Lunatics was out and it was we went down to a school in Texas and it was five of us. It was two of us from Beaumont, one was from RTC, and I think two was from Sumner, and then one was from actually East St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
That was all on scholarship to go out there. So they would until they got used to it, they just call us the St. Lunatics because that's when Melvin Dale was high. They just
Right,
call us
right,
the St.
right.
Lunatics. So we went to a school in Texas. It was so crazy because like we was living on dorm, we was on scholarship, and it was just like wow, really being away from home for me for the first time. But I was like luckily because I had my best friend with me. Like when things didn't go right, I had someone to lean on. When vice versa, when he didn't have a good day, he can lean on me. So that was the good thing about it. And then I know you're familiar with Pee Wee, Coach Leonard.
Man, oh yeah, that's
He was
that's come on now.
he was that's family. So he was assistant coach out there where we was too. So like I felt comfortable being so far away from
Right.
home, but I had that from home with me, so I felt comfortable. My freshman year, man, it was a roller coaster ride. I had some real highs, I had some real lows as a freshman. Injuries took a toll, but like I had some explosive games. Like my high was 35, and that was off the bench.
Mm.
And yeah, so like I mean, like the things I was doing in high school, like I was doing them in college. Like didn't nothing really change for me. Like I was still doing my thing. I was still playing great defense. I was still rebounding the ball crazy for my size.
Mm-hmm.
I was still dunking on people. I was still explosive. My freshman year, I got homesick.
Right.
It
Nah.
was just
Yeah.
like
And that's, I mean,
coming
that's
back.
that's one of the things that, man, college people, I mean, folks don't realize, man, especially if you coming off and you know that you're not gonna get probably not gonna get Thanksgiving home. You probably not gonna get Christmas home.
Yeah,
You can easily get homesick playing sports at the next level. But go ahead.
yeah. I like and like when we was in Texas, like we only came home once a year, man,
Mm-hmm.
and like it was hard. Like it was hard. A lot of time, like being on the road, um, and not being used to that, like trying to get yourself and your mind acclimated to
Right.
something you're not used to. And what I mean by that, I mean being on the road majority of the time, sleeping in hotels majority of the time. Like I wasn't used to that. And then if I wasn't in a hotel, I was in a dorm room.
Right.
Like that's not home. You know what I mean? So
And it ain't like you can
trying to
just
get
jump in the car and just drive, man. You got to do some planning to get back to the crib, man.
you can drive for 16 hours and still be in the state of Texas. Like like
Mm.
how is that possible? And that was we drove like a few times coming home. Like I like coming home for the Christmas break. We drove. I caught a plane back to get back there, but driving my coach because he was recruiting at the Normandy Christmas tournament. So he drove me and all my teammates that were from St. Louis. We drove back to St. Louis for Christmas break, and man, that was like it felt like a
Mm.
3-day drive. Yeah, but it was like I said, that freshman year, that transition, it was like it was rough. It was rough because physically, like my body was like I was getting injured, and then I still had
Mm-hmm.
to play through it, and it was like, man, it was just like having to hit the weight room and just like
Yeah. Nah.
waking up, practice at 5 in the morning, and then go to class, and then after class is done at 3, you got to go back
No
to
doubt.
practice
Yeah,
again.
no,
So it
it
was like,
tests you. It tests you to really fit. Like if you
no,
really want to, if this is something that you really, really want to do. But on the on the
we're gonna
flip side
find
of
out.
that, and this is what I kind of want to touch on too, just based on the strength of, man, here you are, man. You 39 years old, man, in great health. You still able to play in leagues around town. And you got to think a lot of folks, once they finish playing college basketball, they don't want to have no parts of playing sports or playing ball again, but that just speaks to just the type of person you are and just the love of the game, man. Talk about the love of the game that you still able to play right now at your age and still being able to do the things that you able to do, like, man, reverse dunks, 360 dunks at this age, man. So just talk about that real quick.
I mean, the game, the passion itself is it never left. Um, it never died. Like a lot of people be wanting me to coach now, BT, and I'm like, man, like I for the last maybe 5, I ain't gotta, how many people we know that's in coaching that just from
Right,
Beaumont,
nah.
not even just from the circle that we know, just from Beaumont. And like, hey, Melvin, come on, man, I need help me with these kids, man. Just give me what you can give me. I was like, man, I ain't gonna lie to like my passion ain't there. Like I gotta be
Right.
100% committed on being able to do that, and my desire for that ain't been there yet to
Right.
just want to go coach. So maybe one day it will, and I watch you guys from a distance. You, Keon, rest of you guys, the Water, the rest of y'all doing a great job, man. And I see the passion there. That's what makes me happy for y'all because I see the passion there for y'all. Me, if I went out there and said, this is what I want to do right now, I don't think I would have that passion like you guys showing that y'all have for the game right
Right.
now. So I don't want to fake it. So I'm not even putting myself in that predicament. So, but I mean, what am I doing right now? I can flip this camera on right now. It's an NBA game on right now. That's all I do is I watch basketball and I still study the game. I still I honor the game. I mean, like these young cats out there, they doing things right now that I only
Right.
dreamed that I was able
Nah,
to
you
do
right now,
when
but
I
you
was
got to
young.
think, man. It's basketball. It evolves, and so some of the stuff that like that you was doing back in high school, it was just like, man, you were at the cutting edge of it. Like, oh my God, think about from the and one mixtapes to the street ballers to all of that stuff that was just not getting introduced when we were in high school. Now it's just all out, full blown.
Yeah,
Like the NBA is like those leagues. You know what I'm saying? From the marketing
yeah.
to the apparel to all of the endorsement deals, like everything is like it's street culture. You know what I'm saying? It's American culture. So nah, that's we were at the cutting edge of it.
No, no. But you know what? If we had um the press that these high school kids have now, if we had it back then in our era, well, we had Mr. Hasty. That's
Ooh,
what
man,
we
shout
had.
out to
Remember
Mr.
Mr.
Hayes, the man,
Hasty?
rest in
Hey,
peace, man. That dude, man, is
he like one of the real ones, man. And it didn't matter what league where we was at, he was there and he was recording every game. And like we can go to his classroom the next day, buy some candy and sit and watch the game and like we knew that was love when we went to Mr. Hazley room. And man, like we had that luxury until he passed away. And once he passed away, like all our games started getting recorded, man. And like we didn't get to see ourselves like what we need to work on, what we was being able to watch when we was going to his class. Like, oh, wow, that was a great block. Oh, well, you should have
right.
slid over. Like, whatever we was able to, cap out during in times. Like, we didn't have that luxury no more after your sophomore year, after my freshman year, and that was a bummer. We missed out. Like, man, like only thing we had was the prep show. And we would be getting lucky. I remember they came to the school once and interviewed you. That was like, man, being
Yeah.
on ESPN for us. But like now, these kids, they got so many platforms to showcase their skills and talent. I'm
Yeah.
jealous, but I'm happy for them at the same time. And I'm just jealous that we didn't get to have that opportunity because, man, like, our highlight tapes would have been, it would have been ridiculous. We had like 2-3 blocks every game. Like, like, it was like, man, it was just like what we missed out on.
Man, I'm telling you. So, man, but just in closing, man, I appreciate you, man, being able to chop it up with me, man. We kind of took a trip down memory lane, man, on this. For some folks, man, it's a throwback Thursday, but when folks may be hearing this, man, it may be a flashback Friday. But man, this is one of my closest teammates, man. I'm happy that you was able to get on. But before we leave, man, who gonna win the Royal Rumble, man? Let's talk about that real quick. Who you got? Who you got winning? Let's go. Let's
Ah,
go. Who you got winning the women's Royal Rumble and who you got winning the men's Royal Rumble? Come on, we
Oh
fantasy
man.
booking right now.
Oh man. I don't
I ain't mean
know.
to put you on the spot, man.
That's a tough one, man. I, I mean, I can go so many different directions. I'm gonna go with the man's, and I would like to see one more, not just put it on them and then strip it off of them 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see RKO have one good title run, a legitimate title
It's
run like they
coming.
doing Roman Reigns. Like,
Mm-hmm.
give RKO, he deserved that, man. He been loyal since day one. He ain't never switched. Like give him that bench. He earned that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the legend still in his peak, if you ask me.
Oh yeah,
RKO.
oh yeah. So when I'm thinking what's gonna kind of play out is, he got it. He's still with Riddle. I think they gonna
Yeah,
build that up, and at some point Riddle gonna turn heel, and they'll probably end that off probably at WrestleMania, where they'll probably clash and fight at WrestleMania. But I'm like you, I see him probably one more, probably going into next year, making a run for it. But keeping him on, he gonna probably stay on Raw. But I'm kind of interested to see, man, if they gonna be able to, and I think it's coming. But if they gonna unify these titles, you
yeah.
got Lesnar and you got Roman Reigns that's gonna probably fight it out, and then at some point they're gonna probably put a stipulation in to where they're gonna say we just got one belt that it ain't gonna go. It can go between two shows, but it's gonna be one belt that's gonna be a legitimate champion, and it's gonna probably be. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you just thinking about the breakdown of that, it's kind of gonna take away when you got a show or a brand, whichever one that ain't got a title or a belt that belongs to that brand. Like, say if it's just Roman Reigns, there's no Brock Lesnar with a belt and he's on SmackDown. How's that gonna make Raw look, or vice versa? You get what I'm saying? How's that
But
gonna
you
make SmackDown?
already got guys going in between brands anyway. Like it ain't really like, even though they say it's a
Yeah,
brand
yeah,
split, it really
yeah, but
ain't
it
no
ain't really
brand. It's just
right,
like,
right.
Lesnar able to just bounce back and forth to whatever show he
Man,
want to.
I mean, that's Lesnar though. He
Yeah.
been doing that.
But I mean,
Yeah,
but who's to say that they can't continue to do that? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think he wasn't even supposed to get that belt. He came in at the last minute to get that belt. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, I wanted Bobby to, maintain
He
that.
just, man, it looks so good on Bobby, man, don't it?
Man, Almighty,
Man, it looked good on him. You know what I'm saying? And as much
you
as
gotta hurt this,
I was
the
mad
hurt
they
business
broke
came
them up,
out
man.
on. Man, they need to keep them together. This the modern day nation, man. That's the
Or
modern day nation.
the modern day horsemen. They was put together to be like the horsemen because it's just like they just all look good
They
together.
swag, the way they carry themselves, they charisma. It was more like
Yeah.
the horsemen, but the way they put in that work, that was the nation, bro.
Man,
That was
so
the
nah,
nation.
I wanted to see. So what? You ain't tell me who the women? Who gonna win the women's Royal Rumble?
Oh man. Uh, Again, every time they give her the belt, it's like they put it on her, they take it right back off of her, man. I don't know why. She got it maybe like 6 times, but I want to see Sasha Banks have a legitimate Becky run, a legitimate Charlotte Flair
Man.
run. Like every time Sasha gets the belt, they take it right off
Well,
my
she
girl, bro.
hurt though.
Like,
She out like 3 months.
yeah, I know she out right now. Bailey, same thing. Like they give her the belt. She ain't supposed to have that belt for
Yeah.
that long, bro. But it is what it is. But just to say, who gonna run a Royal Rumble? You know who I want to see come back and have a nice run, and they trying to do something with her with her
Who?
husband.
Who? Beth
Come
Phoenix?
on now, yes
Man,
sir,
come on, man. They
yes
just need
sir.
to quit playing, man, and let Rhea Ripley just go on, man, just roughhouse through the whole industry, man. She the coldest thing they got.
That that'd be too easy. That's just like when Ronda Rousey. That'd be too easy if you just let her go do that, man. Like she could easily do that, and there wouldn't be
Right.
nothing said. Like, oh, that. there wouldn't be no
But
problem with her
she the
doing that,
women's
bro,
Brock
at
Lesnar.
all.
Like that's how you got to look at it. It's like
She really is.
she a beast.
Yeah, she really is. What's going on with Nia
Oh, she
Jax?
gone.
Is she out?
Yeah, they
She
fired her,
gone?
man. Yeah, you got it. You ain't been locked in, man.
They gave her
She
13
been
chances. They gave
she
her
was hurting
13
everybody.
chances.
Every time you looked up, she was hurting somebody.
I know, but I ain't think he was gonna get rid of it though. I have not been locked in like that. Like I did watch the Royal Rumble. I did watch Royal Rumble. I am gonna watch what's the call that's coming up for AEW. I did not know that many people
Oh
went
yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
there.
You've been on. Yeah,
Um,
you've been
I
out of the
just I
loop.
was just watching. I was just watching today, like they were showing a preview for what's the for Friday, what's
Dynamite,
it
no,
called?
Rampage.
For Rampage for Friday Rampage. And I was like, man, they got Daniel Bryan, Lucifer,
CM
Mark
Punk.
Henry. I think I been knew CM was over there. I knew Punk was over there, but I'm like, I didn't know Henry was over there. I didn't know Daniel was over there.
Alistair Black.
I didn't. I knew Alistair was over there. I knew Black was over
Cody
there.
Rhodes.
It was Mark Henry, Cody been over there. He running it. So I knew the people that been over there started like him and
Yeah.
what's my boy
Chris Jericho.
what's his name RK
Jericho.
yeah Jericho. I knew yeah what they call him what is it RKO
Who? Kenny
what is
Omega.
what they call no what they call Jericho
Oh yeah, Y2J.
Y2J.
Yeah, nah, he was over there.
I was saying his nickname. Yeah, he was one of the first ones they got him and Cody. You know, Cody running
Mm-hmm.
the show. Like I knew that, but like two people that just came over there, like the Daniel, what Braun Strowman? Because I just saw him on the
Yeah, he on
independent
the
show.
independent show and somebody else on that show with him. He just got released.
Up though, I like the way he looked
Yeah,
now though.
yeah, yeah. He cut
Braun.
up. But Andrade's he over there. Andrade's he over
Yeah, I
there.
saw that.
Man, they got a lot of folks now. It's getting bloated over there now. You know.
So why you think they releasing so many people from like the release Braun Strowman and release what's my guy name Wade Bryan Wade Bryan like they you like them two superstars and they just
A
released them
lot of
like they
them
were
guys, man,
like
and I'm just like I don't know for sure, but
the
oh
thing
yeah, the Fiend was out.
the merchandise
Yeah,
like the thing was doing
yeah,
numbers
they do
like
numbers, man. But I don't know if it's a situation where they and you hear the speculation people talking about they was gonna sell the company, so they got rid of all of the guys with the high profile contracts to kind of make it look like it could be presented when they sell it. It ain't like you know what I'm saying. Like they ain't on a whole bunch of contracts. Like when WCW sold back in the day, all the big names was
yeah
under contract and they couldn't get them when they first came over. So I don't know if they preparing to sell it or
wait
what, but I get tired, man, that every time you look up, you can't get invested in a character because you afraid they're gonna get fired. You know, so
exactly
but I'm gonna
yeah
be down there, man, and what next Saturday, man. I'm gonna be down there, man, front and center, man, at the Royal Rumble. So we might have to chop it up, man, and do a little preview, man, before then. So
preview
right,
show
but man,
most definitely after
but
show
appreciate you, man. Man, go on get you some rest, man. Um, man, again, man, I'm just giving you your flowers right now, man. Appreciate your friendship, man. Appreciate you being there for me, man, throughout, man, these 20 years, man. This you can't say that you've been knowing somebody and had a friendship with somebody for that long. Some of these guys out here ain't even 20 years old, but to have a friendship like this, man, for
man.
this long, man, that's special. So I appreciate you, bro, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. You've been able to put me on your show, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and having me on here, man. So